وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and treat your parents with kindness in Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-An'am, Surah An-Nisa, Surah Luqman, and Surah Al-Isra. I will also discuss related hadiths, inshallah. If your parents command you to go against me or to commit shirk, then you should not obey them. This recognized manner includes taking care of their food and drink, and looking after them if they become ill. However, in the Quran and Sunnah, we find completely opposite statements. When he did not, he went to the Prophet of Islam, who said, "All right, you may divorce her." The Quran mentions the importance of treating one's wife, children, and parents with kindness. In Bukhari and Muslim, there is a hadith stating that a woman was created from a man's crooked rib. Today I caused separation between a husband and wife. Satan embraces him, saying, "You have done the real work." Islam teaches that even for genuine reasons, one should avoid divorce. In our Punjab society, elderly people who have friendships with the youth, if you observe the older men, they do not live peacefully at home. When the husband returns home after retirement, after some time, you might hear about their divorce. At the end of the day, in Europe, particularly in the UK, I have seen news on several major TV channels about many men being harmed by their wives. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and treat your parents with kindness. In the Quran, there are 5 places where the command to treat parents well comes immediately after monotheism. This is not a trivial matter. It is mentioned in 5 places. Right after monotheism, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-An'am, Surah An-Nisa, Surah Luqman, and Surah Al-Isra. These 5 verses emphasize the importance of treating parents well. The rights of parents are discussed throughout the Quran, and when we weigh all of them, the 3 consecutive verses in Surah Al-Isra carry significant weight as they provide detailed mention of this topic. Inshallah, we will also cover the translation of these verses and dedicate more time to them. I will also discuss related hadiths, inshallah. One aspect that is skipped here, which is mentioned in other places, particularly in Surah Luqman. If your parents command you to go against me or to commit shirk, then you should not obey them. However, it is stated that you must treat them with kindness in this world in a recognized manner. This recognized manner includes taking care of their food and drink, addressing any issues related to their living conditions, and looking after them if they become ill. This is what it means to treat them well in this world. In fact, there is a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim about Asma bint Abu Bakr, the daughter of Hazrat Abu Bakr, whose mother was a polytheist and used to visit her. She asked Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, whether she should treat her mother kindly. He replied that she should treat her with kindness in a recognized manner. However, sometimes this kindness is exaggerated. You often hear emotional speeches suggesting that one should even divorce their wife at the behest of their parents. If one is to divorce their wife based on their parents' wishes, then there would be no need to get married in the first place. The reason is that it is impossible for there not to be a conflict between a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law after marriage. Otherwise, divorce should be common in every household. Then the teachings in the Quran and Sunnah should be to get married and get a divorce in the first week. However, in the Quran and Sunnah, we find completely opposite statements. This means that some individuals have derived certain issues from a few fabricated narrations, or even from some authentic narrations, which are also supported by revelation. For instance, it is reported about Abdullah ibn Umar that there was a conflict between him and his wife regarding Hazrat Umar, who suggested that he should divorce her. When he did not, he went to the Prophet of Islam, who said, "All right, you may divorce her." The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has the support of revelation. When he advises someone, it is not merely verbal. The Prophet, peace be upon him, did not endorse this action. Otherwise, the hadiths would state that when parents tell you to divorce your wife, you should immediately do so. If that were the case, all the companions would have been without wives. As such conflicts have always existed, and in a joint family system, this is natural and often occurs. The Quran mentions the importance of treating one's wife, children, and parents with kindness, and it discusses avoiding divorce as much as possible. The hadiths clearly explain how the Prophet of Islam articulated this, leaving no room for doubt. In Bukhari and Muslim, there is a hadith stating that a woman was created from a man's crooked rib, and if you try to straighten her, you will break her. Giving her a divorce is akin to breaking her. This means that the Prophet, peace be upon him, advised against breaking her, emphasizing that one should benefit from her and not attempt to straighten her, which means not to try to divorce her. This hadith is found in both Bukhari and Muslim. In Sahih Muslim, there is a surprising hadith where the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that the throne of Satan is set upon the waters, and in the evening all his minions come to report to him. They say, "Today we made such and such person commit such and such sin." Satan is not pleased with this. They mention major sins like adultery and theft. However, one minion comes and says, "Today I caused separation between a husband and wife." Satan embraces him, saying, "You have done the real work." In light of this hadith, can it be justified to divorce a wife at the behest of parents? Islam teaches that even for genuine reasons, one should avoid divorce. The Quran states that if a woman commits indecency, the first step is to separate her from the bed. There can be no greater issue than this. In Surah An-Nisa, if she still does not adopt the correct behavior, then you may discipline her, but not like the way one would treat a disobedient person. It should be like how one scolds small children, and it is prohibited to strike the face or break bones. What could be greater than this? The Prophet of Islam forbade it. There is a hadith in Sahih Muslim that no believer should harbor hatred towards his believing wife. There is another hadith in Sahih Muslim that this world is a place of trial, and the best thing one can have in this world is a righteous wife. Both Bukhari and Muslim have a hadith where the Prophet said, "I am leaving you with the greatest trial after me, which is your women," meaning that it is your responsibility to treat them well. In our Punjab society, elderly people who have friendships with the youth often advise them before marriage to keep their wives under control, as they have done the same. The end result is evident. Couples fight throughout their lives. If you observe the older men, they do not live peacefully at home. In the same way, couples who have not lived together their entire lives often face issues in old age, when the husband returns home after retirement. After some time, you might hear about their divorce. This is something you may have commonly heard. This particularly happens among soldiers, as they are not accustomed to living together. By the time they reach old age, both of their habits are fixed, and neither is willing to adjust. This leads to divorce, and they have to manage the children, the mother, and the father, all while not being able to stay in one place together. Clearly, they have become non-mahram to each other, which is a significant issue. These are real-time problems that people come to us to discuss, expressing their frustrations about how their parents are entangled in anger and have caused distress by getting divorced. Not everyone has the financial resources to keep their parents in separate homes, leading to a torturous situation because they lack the experience of living together. During the days of COVID, You may have heard about how many divorces occurred in Europe and America, as people were previously busy with each other, and their relationship was limited to just that. There was some discussion from the children's point of view, or from the perspective of jobs, or during meals when we had to spend the whole day together. Both men and women have been difficult, and their husbands have also become difficult. At the end of the day, in Europe, particularly in the UK, I have seen news on several major TV channels about many men being harmed by their wives. Here, mostly men are the ones who cause harm, but there, it is mostly women. During the days of the lockdown due to COVID-19, thankfully, the lockdown ended and life returned to normal.